One of the things that makes final expense sales so darn attractive is that anyone with like a decent work ethic can actually make a living by simply taking the lead to the prospect's house, knocking on their door, and talking their way inside to make their final expense sales presentation. And of course, by doing this, we're probably helping out the client's family by saving somebody a lot of hassle come time to, take care of the funeral, of course. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to effectively door knock your leads, exactly what to say at the front door, how to overcome objections at the door, and very important, I'm going to show you how to eliminate the need to go back and forth when the client doesn't want you to come in now and tries to convince you to come back later. And let's start by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. We're putting out true final expense sales training and insurance related content every single week. And guys, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get a copy of the door knocking super file. This thing, it has scripts on door knocking different types of leads, including a cold list and a script on overcoming objections while door knocking your final expense leads. First, I'd like to answer a question that I probably get from somebody every week. Is it better to call my leads, or am I better off just door knocking them? Here's how I see it. If you're working the system that I teach, you'll most likely be calling through all your leads on your phone days and door knocking between your appointments, which are usually the next day after you have your phone day. However, if you're only working maybe 20 or 25 direct mail leads each week, or maybe 30 or 40 Google/Facebook leads each week, you're probably better off just door knocking all of them. And the reason being, one, you're new and need to become a master at door knocking. Two, 20 direct mail leads or 30 Google Ads leads is not enough leads to work even part-time, in my opinion. Which leads us to number three. Most of your sales will most likely come from door knocking the leads. So you might as well become a master at the art of door knocking right from the start. Final expense sales, at least face-to-face final expense sales, has always been and always will be a business based on door knocking leads. Now, before I share my exact door knocking method, how about a pro tip? So nowadays, you can actually get final expense Google ad and Facebook ad leads for 12 to 15 bucks or even less sometimes. Since direct mail leads are usually around, I want to say about $40 or so now. If you're new, I do recommend working at least 50 of the cheaper Facebook or Google, ad leads each week. At least 50. And if you're smart and you've put money aside, for your business, you'll place an ongoing order of at least, 30 or 35 direct mail leads as soon as you start to get through the learning curve, about a month into the business. And I'm talking an ongoing order where you have leads every single week. Most agents kind of make the mistake of being a little cheap and not having, or maybe just not having enough money to invest into their leads. So now they don't have enough leads to stay active enough to even cut through the learning process, believe it or not. And to me, that's a big fat fail. Do not be the agent who works 15 or 20 leads per week, or even better, the agent who buys a batch of leads thinking that he's going to try the business, and if he has success, he'll order more leads. Understand, if you're selling face-to-face, it will most likely take you a couple of months to get strong enough and good enough at selling. And to the point to where, you're actually able to make a living doing it. So when you try a batch of leads for the first time, you are most likely going to blow easy laydown sales that you wouldn't be blowing, after, 2 months later, 2 months down the road. This is just one more reason that the turnover rate of final expense agents is so high in our industry. And with that behind us, here's how I suggest you door knock your final expense leads. First, you want to organize your leads the night before you go out. Me, I recommend putting the addresses into a program like MapQuest, which will allow you to put I think 25 or 30 addresses in at a time. Yes, There are other free programs that will do this. You just got to do your research. The nice thing about MapQuest is that once you have all your addresses in that program, you can see where they are on the map. And then you just drag them, the addresses around so that you can start with like an address that's maybe closest to where you live, and then, the address that's closest to that one, and so on, so you're not going back and forth. The idea is to avoid driving from like one part of town to the next, only to go back and forth. You want each address to be lined up one by one. Depending on how spread out the addresses actually are, you could end up door knocking all 26 leads more than once a day, and even up to like 3 times, believe it or not, depending on your work ethic and the area. Either way, I recommend door knocking the same lead in the morning, in the afternoon, and early in the evening, at least 2 times before leaving, a delivery notice. Our agents get their weekly fixed cost direct mail leads on Thursday evening. So by the time Tuesday of the next week rolls around, you'll have spoken with several people, made multiple presentations, and hopefully a handful of sales at least. And for instance, if you're working like 30 leads each week, you'll only, have about like a third or maybe, half of those leads left at the most, really, after working them for the first couple of days. And now it's easier to hit them all up in the morning, afternoon, and evening every day until your, leads get replenished again on Thursday night. Personally, I like to keep my agency ID around my neck. It has my photo and my insurance license number, where everybody can see it. To me, this looks official and professional. And as far as the leads are concerned, just have them like clipped together with like your medical question pages in the back, and just like have a pen with them. Do not door knock with a briefcase or a sales book or even your iPad in hand, as, this kind of makes you look like somebody coming to ask for money, coming to sell them something. I mean, unless you already have the appointment, of course, that's different. But we're talking just door knocking the leads. Never, ever, ever say the words life insurance when at the client's door. And I like to use like keywords like benefit plans and special programs. Be brief, be vague, and make sure to gesture forward or take a step forward when you say, where can we sit down really quick? Here's how I do it. First, I do the shave and a haircut door knock, tat, 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 and then I'll take a couple steps back. Always use the client's first name when they answer. Hi, Janet, my office sent me here. You had requested information about the special final expense benefit plans for Social Security recipients here in Florida. You filled out the card and mailed it in. Where can we sit down really quick? Now, depending on the area that you are working and door knocking in, you'll notice that like maybe 25% to like over 50% of the people that answer tend to just like open the door and welcome you inside. For those folks with objections who hesitate and do not want to invite you in, well, there's a few ways to handle that too. When they start with the nonsense and maybe say something like, oh, why don't you just give me a call back later? I'll let them know that we've already been calling them and we can never get them on the phone. And that's why I'm here. I also let them know that I don't live nearby. And you know what? It's only going to take a few minutes, and then I'll ask them, if we can just get this over really quick so I don't have to go back and forth anymore. If they give me like another objection, I let them know that I completely understand, and the last thing that I would ever want, Jerry, is for some pushy salesman to try to push their way into my mom's or dad's house only to try, selling them something that maybe they don't need or want. I assure you, that is not who I am. I am simply here to go over the information that you requested from my office, and if you qualify, I'll show you some affordable options, really. If they give me another objection, I will simply let them know that I completely understand. And the last thing that I would ever want is for some pushy salesman to push their way into my mom or dad's house, only to end up trying to sell them something that maybe, they don't need or want. I assure you, Jerry, that is not who I am. I am simply here to go over the information that you requested from my office, and if you qualify, I'm going to show you some affordable options. You're either going to be glad that I showed up or not, and we'll shake hands and I'll be on my way. Now, where can we sit down really quick? The trick is to not jump through their hoops, as they will have you running around wasting more time only to end up changing their mind if they do set an appointment at the front door. Big no-no to me, which means that, you know, they're either, I don't know, going to chase you away when you come back or just completely dish you by ignoring the door. One of the things that I was taught as a Hartford life insurance agent is that people do not respect salesmen until you give them a reason to respect you. Respect needs to be earned. When you jump through the prospect's hoops and do what they ask you to do before you've even built any rapport and maybe have, you know, any of their respect, they will waste your time and treat you as if your time is worth nothing to them, because guess what, guys? They have zero reasons to respect you and your time. You gotta earn it. Absolutely 100% first. On the other hand, when you take control at the door at first sight, right from the start, and demand and or earn their respect, then you've already started the process of getting them into, you know, that yes mode, that buying mode, which will make it that much easier to sell more insurance and spend less time driving around banging on doors. Guys, my point is, whatever you do not let them chase you away, and do not schedule an appointment at the front door, no matter what. You've already wasted, well, there are some times when you have to do that, but you've already wasted enough time driving around, so why would you let the prospect jerk you around and treat you with such disdain and disrespect? Take control. Don't let the leads chase you away. You're the professional, so act like it. Earn their respect by being strong and moving through the nonsense, you know, pushing your way through. Get into the house, make your presentation, and close that sale. For a copy of the door knocking super file that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on selling final expense and or Medicare Advantage with our training and sales platform, just email me at that same address. Remember, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.